Hi there, welcome back to my kitchen. September is here and the Gravenstein apples have arrived in the farm stands. So I'm making an apple crisp with a maple walnut topping. And about these apples, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gravensteins, but these are considered Nova Scotia's premier heritage apple. And these are quite a tart baking apple. And they're only available for a short period of time. They don't really store that well, so when you see them and you're a baker, you snap them up. If you don't have access to Gravenstein apples where you live, you can still make this apple crisp. Just use any kind of firm baking apple, like a Granny Smith or a John O'Gold, just something firm and tart. Anyway, enough talking about apples. Let's get these started and we'll get working on our apple crisp. To get started on our apple crisp, I'm just going to slice up these apples. I have about 3.5 pounds of apples, enough to make, I'd say, 7 or 8 cups of sliced apples, and I've washed them really well. I'm not going to peel these apples. I like the texture of a little bit of apple peel in my apple crumble. I think, you're losing a lot of good nutrition and fiber when you throw the peels away. I know the farm where these Gravensteins were grown, and I know how they were grown, and I've given these a good wash, but I know they're pesticide free. So I'm just going to get started on cutting these into slices, and I just cut around the core. I know some people have gadgets for removing the core. I don't bother with any of that. And then I just cut them into nice slices. And you're looking for slices about that thickness. Let me know in the comments what kind of apples you like to bake with. What is popular in your neck of the woods? There's my 3.5 pounds of apples all sliced up. I'll take these cores and put them in the compost. This recipe for apple crisp makes quite a large amount. You can put this in one large baking dish or separate it into smaller ones and stash one in the freezer for another time. It will freeze beautifully unbaked. You can even just stash it in the fridge unbaked for a day or so and then pop it in the oven. I'm going to start with this one. This will make about 8 servings. So the apples themselves, you have them all prepped and sliced. So now we're just going to toss this with some sugar and spice. I have a little bit of sugar, just 1/4 cup, and a tablespoon of cornstarch to thicken up any juices, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm just going to mix that with the sugar, the nutmeg and the cornstarch. Stir that together to make sure that the cornstarch is fully distributed within that sugar. So just sprinkle that all over the apples and then give that a toss. Just want to make sure that most of the apples are making contact with that sugar and cornstarch and nutmeg mixture. And the other thing I like to do is add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I have it measured out here, but most of the time I just go glug glug. I measure vanilla with my heart and just give that a stir. And if you were making this ahead of time to freeze or to stash in the fridge for an overnight before you want it to bake this off and serve it to people, I would also toss in a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice just to acidify the apples and make sure that they don't turn brown. I'm going to bake this right away, so I don't think I need any lemon juice. So here's my baking dish. We'll see if this is all going to fit. and I have enough for a little small baking dish to serve 2 people. So I'm going to get out another smaller container and put that in, and we'll have apple crisp for tonight, and then a little apple crisp in the freezer, hiding away for another night when we wonder what's for dessert tonight, and surprise, we have this waiting for us in the freezer. We have our apples in our baking dish, and now it's time to start working on the crumble topping. So I have some flour and some old-fashioned rolled oats and some old-fashioned brown sugar. Any kind of brown sugar will work. And I have some butter and a teaspoon of cinnamon and some walnuts and some maple syrup. The walnuts and maple syrup give you the maple walnut aspect of this crumble. Now, if you don't have walnuts or maple syrup, no harm, no foul. You can still make a very nice basic apple crumble just with these ingredients: flour, oatmeal, brown sugar, butter, and cinnamon. But I like the addition of walnuts and maple syrup. I think it gives it a nice warm fall touch. So we'll start mixing this up. I'm just going to set the walnuts and the maple syrup to one side. So I have the flour. That's 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 3/4 cup of rolled oats. These are old-fashioned organic rolled oats. Any oats will do. And I have 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm going to give that a good stir just to mix up the flour and the oatmeal and the cinnamon and the brown sugar. And if your brown sugar is lumpy, just press it with the back of a wooden spoon. Try to get those lumps out. Sometimes it's best to get in there with your hands. Just make sure if you're feeling any lumps of brown sugar, just break them apart with your fingers. Okay, and now I have 1/2 cup of butter. This is plant-based butter, so really all of this would be suitable for vegan diets. If you just want to use regular butter, that's fine too, but I had some plant-based butter in the fridge, so that's what I'm going to be using. And this is at room temperature. I know sometimes recipes specify really cold butter, but in this case, you're going to want to use room temperature butter so you can really work that into the crumble mixture. A stiff wooden spoon is best for this. Spatula is okay, but a wooden spoon is better. And just keep pressing it into the flour, sugar, and oatmeal until it's fairly well combined. And again, if you want to switch to your hands, that is not a bad idea. I may be doing that in a second. First, I'll see how far I get with my wooden spoon. Just keep working away. And I used all-purpose flour for this, but if you have whole wheat flour or some sort of other whole grain flour, oat flour would be fine. Any kind of flour will do in this. There's no rising or gluten development needed in a crumble. So whatever flour you happen to like, if you're gluten-free, use a gluten-free flour. Okay, that consistency looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get my walnuts and I'm going to give them a rough chop. So I have 1/2 cup of walnuts. These are walnut halves. If you had already chopped walnuts in your pantry, you've saved a step. You don't have to chop them. I'm just going to run my knife through these. And ordinarily when I'm working with nuts, I would just give them a little toast in a dry pan before using them, but this crumble is going to bake at quite a high temperature in the oven, so they're going to naturally toast up, I think. I think they'll be fine just in their untoasted state. So that's good. If you, depending on how finely you like your nuts chopped. I think I'll stop right there. Walnuts are so good for you. They have a lot of healthy fats and a ton of fiber. And obviously, if you have a problem with nuts, such as an allergy, just leave them out. This recipe will not be hurt in any way if you just go with the crumble mixture and leave out the walnuts. So I'll just tip those into our crumble mixture. Give that another good stir. It smells so good, and it hasn't even baked yet. And for the maple syrup component of our maple walnut topping, I have 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and this is the dark kind. It certainly is the best kind for baking. You get a lot of intense maple flavor. So I'm just pouring that over the top, and then just stir that through. There, you should end up with a really nice moist mixture. When you pick it up in your hands, it should squeeze together, but then you can crumble it apart. And that's going to be delicious. And I just realized I forgot to preheat my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll just rinse my hands off and turn my oven on, and then I'll show you how I put the crumble topping over the apples. One moment. I have my oven turned on to 375, and now I'm going to top my prepared apples with our crumble mixture. So just take handfuls of this and just break it apart. Squeeze it together into little crumbles and then break it apart over your apples. If you have little ones in the house, this is something that they could probably help you with, and they would just love it. Just keep scattering the crumble topping here and there. Distribute it as evenly as you can. And I have that other remaining amount of apples that I'm going to put in another baking dish and make apple crumble for 2. So I think that's a good amount of crumble topping to have left over to put on that. So I'll just set that to one side. So I dug out a small casserole dish. Put the rest of those apples in there. And I know I've called that apple crumble for 2, but it's more like apple crumble for 3. So if there are 3 of you in the family, or someone who likes to have a little snack before bed, that'll be just enough for 2 people in a bit. The remaining crumble I'll just scatter over the top. And as I said, this recipe is very forgiving, so if you didn't want to use that many apples to the point that you end up with more apples than will fit in just one container, you could just peel and chop enough apples to go in one baking dish and put all the crumble on that one baking dish. There's never too much crumble in relation to the amount of apples. I find the ratio of crumble to apple is good if it's about 50-50, but this is about 60-40. Math, not my strong suit. So just slide this one into a Ziploc bag. Is that going to fit? Maybe, no. Maybe just this way. Squeeze out the air. There. Dessert already made in the freezer for a couple of weeks from now, or maybe next week. I've got a little baking sheet here lined with foil. Put my baking dish on top of that. My oven is up to temperature, 375. So we'll just bake this for 30 minutes and check it to see when it's nice and golden brown on top and bubbly and juicy. Into the oven for 30 minutes. I'll clean up my kitchen and we'll see how things go. You should smell my kitchen right now. Oh my, the smell of apples and brown sugar and cinnamon is just divine. Better than any candle ever could scent your home. Our apple crumble is done. Isn't that beautiful? It's all bubbly and Smells so good. I'll just poke a little knife in here to make sure, yeah, the apples are nice and juicy and soft. And the crumble topping is very nice and crisp. So it's very warm right now, very hot. So I think I'm going to let this cool off just a little bit, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. And then I'll dish it up with some beautiful vanilla ice cream and we'll see how it tastes. Just hang on a little bit. I know it's hard to wait. Our beautiful apple crisp has been cooling here for about half an hour and it's still very warm, but it should be the perfect temperature for enjoying with a little scoop of ice cream. So let's just dip into it and see what it tastes like. Very, very nice. You know, after seeing how these apples cooked down, I probably could have mounded all of those apples into this one pan, but you never know. I just didn't want it to bubble out everywhere. So one for me, one for my husband. It's very nice and juicy, and the crumble topping is very crisp. I should turn that around so you can really get a nice look inside. But before this cools off, let's give it a nice scoop of ice cream. Just a nice little scoop. Is that beautiful or what? So nice. Get a little bit of ice cream on my spoon, a little bit of crumble, and a nice bit of apple. Try to do this without making too much of a mess. That is heavenly. It's just the perfect ratio of crumble to saucy apple, and the ice cream on top is the crowning glory. So nice. See how golden and crumbly the crumble is? I'm not quite sure what the difference between crisp and crumble is, but this is definitely very crisp and very crumbly. And the apples are gorgeous. So I hope you'll give this recipe a try. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. I'm going to have all sorts of wonderful fall recipes coming up. So I hope you'll consider subscribing so that I can see you here next week and you won't miss a trick. Thanks very much. Bye for now.